Morning Connection with Julia Michael Benaya, 7 a.m. to 11 a.m. weekdays on Fit FM 96.7. Your life, your music.
Blessings and light. This is Imara, the musical revolutionary. You're in host and the community buzz on Fit FM 96.7. Your life, your music. This and every Monday at 3 p.m. From the home to the community to the wider world. Let us be the change we want to see. Join me this and every Monday at 3 p.m. on the community buzz on Fit FM 96.7. Your life, your music.
For all your new construction and remodeling needs, come to Gillings and Things Hardware Store. Located in Danieltown, Falmouth, Trelawney, Gillings and Things Hardware offers the best prices in building materials. So call us today at 876-345-5156. That's 876-345-5156. Or email us at mozyg@yahoo.com. We deliver. Gillings and Things Hardware Store. You name it, we have it.
Another banger, baby, calm down, calm down. Yo, this your body.
Fit mind, fit body, fit community, fit world. This is Imara, the musical revolutionary on the community buzz on Fit FM 96.7. Your life, your music.
Before God and all mankind, I pledge the love and loyalty of my heart, the wisdom and courage of my mind, the strength and vigor of my body in the service of my fellow citizens. I promise to stand up for justice, brotherhood, and peace, to work diligently and creatively, to think generously and honestly, so that Jamaica may, under God, increase in beauty, fellowship, and prosperity, and play her part in advancing the welfare of the whole human race.
Struggles on. We are the builders of the pyramids. We are the builders of the stone cities of Zimbabwe. We build them White House. We build them factories. With blood, with sweat, with tears. With flesh, with bones. Them use build them economy. Now them want come con you and me. With them science and them technology. We make them take with knowledge. Now them are deafly. Them are blindly. We are walk, we are ride, we are drive, we are fly. Nah, look, nah, see. Eyes focus on the screen of an iPhone, Galaxy, tablet, Blackberry. Wake up, look. You know, she said them are very and style out. With Edinburgh slavery. Robotic, digital, technological slavery. The rich take them session, call it recession, left the world in depression. Legal and illegal drugs and alcohol on the rise in their interests to our demise.
96.7 Trelawney's Radio. Your life, your music.
We are by them lies and sell with lies, prostituting our sons, daughters, and wives. Marcus did rise, Sam Sharp did rise, Bogle did rise, Taki did rise, Queen and Zinga did rise, Harriet Tubman rise, Rosa Parks rise, Malcolm X rise, Douglas rise. Yes, your ancestors rise. Imoralize, organize, mobilize, visualize. Stop look through for them and show your own eyes. Give them back them gadgets. You see what I say? Yes, this is the community buzz on Fit FM 96.7. Your life, your music. And we are on www.fitfmja.com. Yes, it is January the 30th, and we are here 20 community buzz. Another buzz of inspiration, another buzz of education, another buzz of upliftment. As we said, from the home to the community, we will be the change that we want to see, and we are taking that responsibility here on the community buzz and on Primal Media Network. It is www.primal4k.com. Yes, where there America, we're on the continent. Yes, we are global. Fit FM and Primal. Yes, we are global, and we are moving as a movement for liberation, mental, psychological, physical, economical liberation. That's what we are about here on the community buzz, and we are buzzing. How are you doing out there, my people? We are here and we are ready to interact with you all. So we are asking you to call in, to tune in, 876-478-9144. I'll go again, 876-478-9144. 876-317-1991. 876-317-1991. Yes, we are here and we are ready. You know, as we said before, God and all mankind, we pledge the love and the loyalty of our heart, the wisdom and the courage of our mind, the strength and vigor of our body to our fellow citizens. In the service of our fellow citizens, I can't mess up that. I promise to stand up for justice, brotherhood, and peace, to work diligently and creatively, to think generously and honestly, so that Jamaica may, under God, increase in beauty and fellowship and prosperity, and play her part in the advancing of the welfare of the whole human race. Yes, that's what we are about. How we are going to advance ourselves, no longer being slaves, you know. So we have to liberate yourself from mental slavery. And when we say emancipate yourself from mental slavery, emancipation simply means transferring of power, you know. So we are going to do that transformation for ourselves. A lot of us, June 1838, believe that liberation did mean fundamental liberty. No, it was just transferring taking place, you know, from the private ownership of those who did control human being as them property. The transfer took place to the crown, and the crown become the head of that human, what they call capitals and collaterals and the properties here. And that's why a lot of the lands that are here, they still call it crown land, because they believe that the crown own everything, including the people. So when the people them come to that understanding and understand our stand, because we have been under the stand so long, and it come like we don't want to live up ourselves from under the stand. And we don't want to get into our stand to stand firm and realize that there is something greater in us, and we must explore that inner being, you know, and take charge of ourselves. So that's what we are here on the community buzz to encourage you all to do, to take care, to take charge of your own self, your faculties. You know what I mean? Well, then we read through Carter G. Woodson, and Carter G. Woodson said, when you control a man king, you do not have to worry about his action. You do not have to tell him not to stand here or go yonder. He will find his proper place and will stay in it. You do not need to send him to the back of the door. He will go without being told. If there is no back door, he will cut one for a special benefit. His education makes it necessary. So, when you allow the colonial system to educate you, you have no control over your faculty, you have no control over your mind, you know what I mean? So, I am saying take charge of yourself, take charge of your faculties. You know, as we always say, we uphold the principles of Kwanzaa here, because these principles are principles that we apply to our daily lives, you know, so we can function effectively and take care of our community. And we always mention the founder of this movement, this station, Fit FM, Umoja is the first principle of Kwanzaa, to strive for and maintain unity in family, community, nation, and race. Yes, Umoja means unity. And that's what we are about. We are on a united mission, oneness of love, oneness of art. You know what I mean? So we stand together. Well, today we have two very powerful people coming. Kwame Babatunde, you know, the organizer and conceptualizer and facilitator of the Black Star Brothers movement. He's also an entrepreneur, you know. He's somebody who travels in and around the world. He's a world citizen, you know what I mean? I met him here in Jamaica in about 2007, about that time, you know, while he was on a mission here, you know, as a Peace Corps officer. Yes, and he has been traveling worldwide ever since, you know, and always have interest in, you know, connection and the repatriation of I&I people back to Africa, and to show how serious he is. He listened to the voice of the ancestors, and he is carrying out that mission. Just returned from Ghana, Liberia, and other places in Africa. So, in a short while, we will be talking to my brother, Babatunde. And later on, about 4 o'clock, we will touch base with the mother of Anchorage. Yes, a new kind of justice. Queen Simone Maddox. Yes. So, in a few minutes, we will talk to Babatunde. Listen to this from Voices on Double. We'll talk about that later. But hear this.
Bye, bye, bye. Bye, bye, bye. Babylon, bye, bye. Bye, bye, bye. Wicked name, bye, bye. All our lives, suffer and cry, watching our prophets and our leaders die. Physically, chain release. Yes, the lion, I man can't live in peace. Got to try. Ethiopian, come make we look to the east. Bye, bye, bye. Babylon, bye, bye. Bye, bye, bye. The wicked men, bye, bye. Bye, bye, again. Bye, bye, bye. Babylon, bye, bye. Bye, bye. wicked men bye-bye. Children of Jah, lean to you. This is what Jah want you to do. Organize, centralize. That's the only way. No worry, think otherwise. As the prophet Marcus Garvey said, one aim, one God, and one destiny.
Yes, man, and we know we have to welcome now all the Putin and the FM band 96.7 FM. So all the people in Stuart Castle, Spicy Hill, Duncans, Clarkstown, Refuge, the people in Center and the people out in Hanover, right? The people out in St. Elizabeth, you know what I mean? All across Jamaica, the people who tune in and log in, you know what I mean? We say, enough love, the people up in Southern Trelawney. We are beginning up and we give thanks that you are here and you're tuning in to Fit FM. Yes. And as we say, to the people worldwide, thank you for tuning in. You know, so we're about to talk to our brother, Kwame Babatunde. You know what I mean? I hope we're ready for him. Kwame.
Hotel, brother, hotel.
Brother Babatunde.
Yes, sir.
Blessed. Okay. Remind us what that means again when we greet brothers. What you say?
Oh, I said hotel. That just means peace. The ancient word for peace from Kemetic, our Kemetic culture in the Nile Valley. We can also say the mother, Kush, Ethiopia, the Nubians that are south of Kemet. You know what I'm saying? So just hotel peace, brother.
Yes, I. Peace, my brother. See, yeah, I'm happy to have you here, my brother. It's been a while we have been talking about, you know, being here on this program. You know, you have done so many great works. You know, before I go into it and delve into some of the things to talk about, I would like you to just formally tell the people who is Kwame Babatunde.
Oh, most definitely, brother.
Babatunde Kwame. I mean, I turn it up.
Oh, no problem. First, want to give a thanks to the Most High and the ancestors. Did pour a libation and respect to them because, as we know, without them, we wouldn't be here. And also, we're standing on their shoulders. So, out of respect for the ancestors, I know on the island they say the Duppy, so the ancestors Duppy. Brother Babatunde here. I did live in Jamaica, as the great brother said, 2008 to 2010, doing a little service, Peace Corps work there, and enjoyed my time there. Was able to work in the educational field, worked at probably about 6 total schools, elementary schools, did a little adult education there, did a little community service, micro business there, and just enjoyed my time there. And met my empress there. Give a shout out to her, Shadeen, my mother-in-law, Miss Oakley, my grandmother-in-law, Miss Mothers, and my family there in St. Thomas, and also just all the brothers and sisters there on the island, and my daughter Nia. Okay, so yeah, that's how I got to know Brother Amara, the great Brother Amara there. Met him there, working with a lot of the Rasta brothers and sisters that took me in. We did do Kwanzaa there when you started off that. Some about the 7 principles. I have a book. I'm looking at Malana Karinga now, the Hosea, the sacred text. So just shows our connection there with that great brother out of California. Like you stated, I've been to 26 countries. I just got back from Liberia, Ghana, and Burkina Faso. I was there for 3 months. Again, they're serving our people. Looking at resident citizenship, getting brothers and sisters back over there at least one time, if not repatriating, as far as like a pilgrimage, like Malafi Asante talked about. You know, we have our brothers and sisters that are Christians, Muslims, and Hebrews. They go back to Mecca, Medina, and Jerusalem, which is great. But also as people of African descent, the indigenous people of the planet, we do need to make a trip back to Africa and Israel at least one time just to see it for ourselves. So that's what I've been doing. You mentioned the Black Star Brothers. We've been doing a group of brothers meeting on Zoom since COVID, going almost on 3 years, facilitating brothers to get back to the continent, no matter where they're at in the diaspora, specifically here in the Caribbean, South America, and America. And then we also do a meeting with brothers that have been, some brothers are on the ground in Africa, and also brothers that have already been, and just doing a collaboration with various brothers that have gone, want to go, doing various projects there, connecting them with people on the ground, and just incorporating as many brothers as we can, because we all are Black Star brothers out of respect for Marcus Garvey. All we have to do is say we just love Africa, and then you're a part of the brotherhood. So that gives you a little bit something, brother, a little bit something to get started with.
Yes. As I said earlier on, my brother, that you are the organizer. And when I spoke to you in the week and said, what was one of the main reasons why you see it necessary to start a movement like the Black Star Brothers movement? Can you, just tell the people one of the reasons why you see it necessary to start that movement, and what's the main goal and intention for starting that movement?
Oh, no problem, great brother. Well, much of that, the initiation, I would say, idea came from the ancestors. We were in the COVID situation, and we knew at that time we were on a lockdown. So, being very spiritual, I know I'm not that wise to come up with an idea like that, and had a lot of contacts of brothers, throughout the Caribbean, throughout America, throughout Africa. From just meeting brothers, and also being customers of mine, knowing brothers that had been to the continent, knowing brothers that wanted to go. And since we had some downtime, I decided just to contact brothers and just see what we can do on the Zoom. Wasn't nothing actually formatted. What we did not discriminate against any brother, The only questions that were asked is, were you interested? Are you interested in Africa? If they were, then we would have them come on a meeting. If they had already been to Africa, we would invite them to the meeting. The name Black Star Brothers was voted upon early on. We had about 20 different names, and the vote or that name won the vote from the brothers. So, and that just pointed us back to Africa. And again, out of respect to Marcus Garvey and what he was able to lay down for us while he was president, and also while he's an ancestor. So that's how it formed. And with that formation, we've been able to send 2 containers over to Africa. We've been able to do 2 wells. We're in the process of finishing another one. We've been able to send money over there for seeds to plant trees and to get crops in the ground. We've sent books, clothes, you name it. We've been able to do it with this group of brothers. We've also started selling T-shirts and hoodies, I think last year around June. So we've been able to get more seed money to do more projects over there and to assist more people. So that's how it started, and we're just following that spirit, the great spirit of loving Mother Africa, and she's just guiding us to continue on to do the work that needs to be done in serving our people.
Yes, just hear you talk about the brothers come together and vote on the name Black Stars, brother. It show me, the whole collective vibration. Ujima, as we talk about Kwanzaa, collective work and responsibility to build and to maintain our community together and to make our brothers and our sisters our problems and to solve them together. And that is what I observe taking place in that movement, because you can impose and say, this is the name that we want to use. Brothers and brothers, through several names and come up with the Black Star Brothers. When we say Black Star, you remember Marcus Garvey with Black Star Liner, and we always holding firm to the principle of Pan-Africanism. And as you said a while ago, that there is no form of discrimination. So you could be Muslim, you could be Hebrew, Israelite, you know. We all welcome brothers in the Black Star brother movement, you know. So my brother, you recently went on the continent. What are some of the things that you discovered there that you feel great about, and some of the things that you see that we could improve there on the continent? Are some of the things that is still keeping us apart, African on the continent and African in the diaspora?
Well, the first thing, great brother, again, that pilgrimage for the ones of us that haven't been, over the years, sitting among scholars and going to lectures and reading books and traveling on this side of the Atlantic, all of that stuff was great. But the equalizer, the quickest way to quicken our spirit, from my observation now, is to make the trip. Studying about Africa, reading about Africa, listening to people talk about Mother Africa, that's great. It's a bridge, but it's a totally different experience once we put those 10 toes down on the ground. You can feel the energy of Mother Africa, and I'll say again, from Israel, Southwest Asia, all the way to the whole continent of Africa. I believe the energy is the same. That same spirit is the same. So once we make that trip, that changes everything. And I say that because every time I go back home, back to Africa, or as some say, Al-Kibalan, I get different ideas, different information, different revelation. So for us in the diaspora, it's very important for us to try to make that trip to the best of our ability. I usually tell brothers and sisters, you're a good person now, but once you make the trip, you're going to be great. So that's the initial thing as far as, getting over there. And plus, you will see that a lot of us have this misconception that everybody is speaking the same language because everybody is melanated, especially in West and South and Eastern Africa. There's over 1,000 tribes, right around 900 or 1,000 tribes on the continent, over 2,000 languages. So it can be very complex to try to get us to work together, especially if we're dealing with the geographical location. If they're far, if it's from Tanzania to Senegal, and then you're talking about tribes, family. I usually say family. I don't like saying tribes. That's more of a Eurocentric term to me. And then the language barrier. So those are some of the challenges. Also, what I noticed this time is, and I want to say it's from colonialism and neocolonialism, the whole idea of these three words that were used consistently, what I heard our brothers and sisters saying, and I would have to try to challenge them. And they would say the problems that they're encountering, the struggles that they're encountering, and the challenges. And so my main thing with the brothers and sisters was, that's everywhere. All 8.5 billion people on the planet have those same things: struggles, challenges, and problems. But what are the solutions? You know what I'm saying? And like you stated earlier with the Black Star Brothers, we don't discriminate. If you're a Muslim, assalamu alaikum. If you're a Hebrew Israelite brother, shalom, shalom. If you're a Kemetic brother, African spiritualist, hotep hete pu, and on and on. We can't let that divide us. So the same thing comes with us over there when it comes to problems, struggles, or challenges. What are the solutions? We already know the problems and the struggles we're dealing with. How can we overcome those with solid solutions?
Yeah.
So I want to say this also about the Black Star Brothers. Oh, go ahead, brother.
Cultural difference. Western education, the cultural thing, like where we're gonna. You still hear me, brother? You hearing me?
Yeah, I hear you now.
I am affecting standing other on the continent and the people who are there. For instance, we can use this term, that pertaining to African spirituality, the way African live and worship and the way they do things, compared to what we used to here in the Americas. What challenge you see in that way?
Can you say the beginning, good brother? I didn't hear the beginning of how it started off, what you were asking.
Yeah, I'm saying we are talking now about cultural differences. We know that since our ancestors came here in this Western hemisphere, there's a lot of disruption. Let me put it that way. Now I am saying here in the Americas, right, going back to the motherland, as I talk about the thousands of tribes and languages, for the communication and to happen effectively, that will work in the interest of us here and the African there, that we don't see ourselves as different people but as one people. How the cultural differences affecting us coming together, if there is.
Okay, I see. Well, I would say on the continent, a lot of them, kind of similar to Caribbean, are interested in leaving. And then, we got a segment of brothers and sisters that are diasporans trying to go over there. The whole thing with, I would say, colonialism and neocolonialism, and granted, people needing money, it's very complex, and even trying to articulate the question you had to try to show that they show the similarities between culture. What I would say, brother, the similarities definitely is our families, how we interact with food, how we interact with dance, how we interact with the concept of believing in a supreme being. Those are the similarities. The differences is, again, I would say loving the West, loving the Western culture, wanting a better life over there. And a lot of them think by leaving is the solution. The aspect of very strong values when it comes to religion, whether it's Christianity or Islam. And I would say more religious than spiritual. So if that kind of answers your question, it's kind of again, you have to be on the ground to really try to dissect it. And it's a work in progress. The question you asked, a work in progress, if that makes sense.
Yeah. We see the world at this time in a new reset, as they say, that there's a space now, and to know that you just returned from Africa, you have been there recently, what you pick up on the ground, are the people there preparing themselves for this new reset, because I realize even here in the diaspora, a lot of us as Africans take the things for granted and don't understand how the world is really changing and how we need to position ourselves, and we realize that our people are still, want to play a catch up to those who are designing a system that hasn't been worked for years. So I'm saying, I'm asking you how the Africans on the continent coping with that, or how they are, what they are doing to determine or to create something for themselves.
I would say it's the same over here, brother. Again, over there, a lot are just trying to survive day to day. One of the things I noticed, and this kind of correlates to what you're asking, and I kind of do an observation no matter where we're at. Now we've been fortunate and blessed to have phones where we can read, but being over there and even being here, here in America, just look at our people and see how many of us are reading or trying to absorb or get more information that's going to help with their personal development, or as we say, knowledge of self or knowing thyself. That's not on the ground. For the most part, is just trying to see how we're going to make it through the next day. Now, that's generalizing. It's not that way for all, but I would say for the majority, is just seeing how and what we can do to get that meal on the table, to get another dollar or CD to be able to move forward. To me, it's a very small amount of brothers and sisters on the planet who have evolved. Not saying it's going to be small, because it's going to be more of us that wake up. But right now, I think the ones of us that are awake have to keep being the light, like we stated, and like this great program you got, speaking the truth, encouraging brothers and sisters in the diaspora on the continent to travel just within continental Africa. The ones that are diasporans, get over there and see how you can assist and be a part of the unity and the upliftment and the resurrection of Mother Africa. Continuously networking with various cells and groups of people that are like-minded, to assist with allowing more to evolve into a higher consciousness of knowing thyself and knowing our culture and knowing our great history of our ancestors. So it's not that many, brother. I'll just say that on the ground. I will say, though, being positive about it, it seems like more youth are waking up over there, because we know the population is somewhere that the average population in Africa, specifically Western, Eastern, and Southern, is around 23, 24 years old. They make up majority of the population. So, and so the youth with the technology, everybody has phones. So the information can be spread a lot faster instead of them waiting on books. Because again, there is a shortage of books, and I'm not talking about Cinderella and Snow White and the books that Europeans or Americans ship over there. I'm talking about culturally relevant books that will help open their minds and open up their spiritual eye to why they are born and why they are here on the planet, to be able to assist themselves, their families, and the rest of us. So it's an awakening, but we still have a long way to go, brother. And I'm saying that being very optimistic. I know how this thing is going to pan out, but we're still in the struggle.
Yes, we're still in the struggle. And that's why we have the Black Star Brothers movement, right? Can you tell how many brothers since we start been to the continent, from the Black Star Brothers movement? Can you, just let the people know that we are on the move? How many brothers been there since we start? If you have it up on top of your head.
I want to say approximately, probably just off the top of my head, that have come through Black Star Brothers and our networking, probably about anywhere 50 to 75. I go off the top of my head, because we've been doing it now for 3 years.
Wow.
So,
wow.
And I didn't say this, good brother, and I know you heard it, because we put it on our group page, and what it's about, networking for Africa and throughout the diaspora. Us, not I, we, not me, unify or die. And again, that mission for the brothers and all brothers is not. Go ahead. Go
Yeah,
ahead,
man.
bro.
I'm just reaffirming what you said. Us, not
Oh,
I. You know.
us, not I, we, not me, unify or
Yeah,
die.
man.
We got that from the shelf
Yes.
of the
Yeah.
ether, from the spirit shelf of the ether there to help us with that. And again, the mission of Black Star Brothers and all
Yes.
brothers is our time, brothers, to network, plan, strategize, and put into action things when it pertains to Mother Africa. And the goal is to be visiting Africa at least once or repatriating. So we've been assisting brothers getting over there, and there's been brothers on the ground ready to receive brothers, and then also brothers that want to repatriate. And we've been also working with sisters. We're looking to do the sisters. So we want to make it seem like we're not including the sisters, but they definitely involved.
Yes, you get right into my mind. 'Cause I was about to say that we are here about Black Star Brothers, and I know that a lot of sisters tune in right now and maybe saying, "But wait, this is a man thing or
No.
what?"
No. Well,
we're saying to the sisters,
the thing is, as
ahead,
you know,
brother.
the thing is with the sisters, the idea was for brothers to do something before calling the sisters in. We know the sisters can take the baton and they beautify things. So we wanted to show them that, let us get it started. And when they come in, they can take it to another level. And instead of us just having a bunch of rhetoric and a bunch of talking, you know what I'm saying? Let them see us doing something so they'll come aboard and then take it to another level. That's why, you know what I'm saying? Didn't want to waste the sisters' time, just put it like that.
Yeah. And let me say it right here that it is not that because I saw a group of sisters who constantly, moving across the continent. So it's just that we as the Black Star Brothers are doing our part, but there are other sister groups out there that, actively visiting the continent, going into Egypt, into Kenya and all about, it's just that we need that centralized kind of movement, that people can understand that we are moving as a team, we are moving on a mission that is to uplift Africa, not just as tourists, because a lot of people go in there as tourists, and no wrong to go as a tourist still, because that's where the experience lies. But we're talking how much the difference with the Black Star Brothers is the contribution that we are making, on the continent. Can you talk about some of the projects that we involve in there, brother? Yes, sir.
We've been able and fortunate enough to send 2 containers of goods, donated goods. We've done 2 wells. We're in the process of finishing another well. We've got some other people interested in getting wells done around there. We've done fundraiser with T-shirts and hoodies to raise more monies to do other small projects. We've sent seeds over there to be planted. I'm thinking I'm missing some of the stuff. We've done and donated things for education in schools. And the thing is, those are just some of the things the brothers have done collectively, but we have a lot of brothers doing individual projects, which, you know what I'm saying, is not even mentioned. So it's not just one thing we're doing, it's whatever is needed. So that means a lot of brothers are wearing a lot of different hats. So that just gives you a little bit of what we're doing. And again, just helping. The main thing is creating a network where brothers can have a safe landing when they make it to Africa. If they have no connection, like myself, I call ancestor. Now he's an ancestor. My good brother Renuka Rashidi. When he was
powerful brother. Yeah.
I called him because I didn't know anybody when I first made my first trip in 2008. And he gave me one brother when I went to Ghana, Ghanaian, and he assisted me. So I knew that was kind of challenging. So the idea of us Black Star Brothers wanting to make a safe haven or a safe landing for brothers and sisters, because we also help the sisters with networking. You know what I'm saying? So that's been very beneficial. That's to me, that's the most distinguished accomplishment I think we have created, was a safe haven or a safe landing for brothers and sisters once they go over there, and specifically Ghana.
Yes. Yes. All right. You talk about building well, and we completed too. For the people out there to get a clear understanding, why the focus is on well rather than anything else? Can you explain why we are working to get well for the people there in Africa? Why?
Yeah, great question. Just like in Jamaica when I was there, you guys got piped water. You got access to water. As we know, we need to be able to eat. We need to be able to bathe and drink water. Water is the primary necessity more than food. You know, as we know, you can live. What is it? 20. I won't go into the numbers, but let me answer the question. Growing food, you need water, irrigation. You need to be able to drink the water. There's a lot of places, and we talking about the remote area. We're not talking about the cities. We talking about remote areas in Africa where they might have to walk some miles or kilometers to get water. So when you don't have water, that takes, or if you have to travel to get water, that takes a lot of time out of your day. And if you have to go twice, or the children have to go, they got to miss school, and all these other issues caused because water is not there, or water is too far to fetch and bring back to the village. So we know that we can't progress without water. We just like infrastructure. If we don't have good roads, we can't get the goods. But without water, we can't do anything. So we want to be able to assist in that manner, serve our people in that manner with well water. Recently, we had one of the brothers bring to our attention, which makes sense, since they have such much rain. They have 2 rainy seasons in Ghana specifically, but they have enough rain to take care of the people if they're able to catch the water and purify it and all that stuff. So not only our wells we're doing, but we're also going to be looking at trying to catch the water and preserve the water in a reservoir that way, where people don't have to necessarily go underground and get water. They can get it from the heavens, from the skies when it drops there. So that's the main reason for the wells.
Yes, before we like the people out there and those who are listening on www.fitfmja.com, www.primal4k.com. You can call in, you can ask the brother any question, that you want. If you want some clarity on anything, you can ask the brother. It's 876-478-9144, 876-317-1991. I go again, 876-478-9144, 876-317-1991. Yes, and Fit FM is on other media work. We are on Facebook, we are on YouTube, and log on there. And, just call in and ask any question that you want some clarity on, and we are bigging up some of the brothers from the Black Star brother, if they are tuning in, Brother Eric, Brother Daniel, and Sammy, all the brothers, who don't want to start calling them because there are so many brothers' name in the head, but
big up, brothers.
Brother Babatun, they have some of the names that work on, and we can pick them up before we come on for this program. But I really full joy, being among the brothers of Wednesday night we meet, because, during COVID, that was like a place of solace for us, to communicate, and we give thanks for the technology, so they told us to social distance. We were always in communication and healing each other's soul, leaning on each other's shoulders, and that was something powerful and is something powerful, because we are still doing that. Every Wednesday night we meet and we discuss, things that are affecting us and things that we need to do to make ourselves become more proficient and more better, and see how we can help our community.
Well, brother,
this is a question I want to ask you, brother. Yeah.
Let me just say you're hitting on something that we talked about in Black mental health for men. I mean, that's
yes,
that came out of I would say the spirit realm, because we have not had that therapy, you know what I'm saying, and we've been healing each other of what happened to us throughout the African mafia, you know what I'm saying. So that mental therapy, we're being able to talk about our issues, just brothers just get on and just start talking, and nobody's trying to grab the mic from them. They have the mic. So that has been a surprise. And brothers are free to speak.
Yes, that kind of respect, that is something that we maintain, and I'm telling you, it is high level conversation, it is dialogue with respect. From I'm there for the past 2.5 years, there's not one meeting form of disrespect took place in none of those meetings, you know what I mean. And every brother come from various backgrounds, the Hebrew, Israelite brothers, Muslim brothers, Christian brothers, Rastafari brothers.
Brother from the road,
the mission
from
is one
streets.
mission. So the Black Star. Yes. So the ancestors really speak through the eye, and to I and I, that we, are here doing this. You understand? The question I want to ask you pertaining, we had a discussion about it, citizenship in Africa, especially in Ghana. What is your like the leadership in Africa can do more, to make it easier for us to just go to motherland, man? It's been a while, and if they recognize that we are family, what is causing all of this? That we can just get up and say, watch, we need a charter trick, we just got Africa.
Well, I'm laughing because I remember the conversation, and it has just come down off the ether, man. And it's come to me the last couple of weeks, and we dialogue, a couple more brothers dialogue, that Ghana in 2021 had the year return, if I'm not mistaken. And Liberia just finished theirs, and I was over there. They just finished theirs in December. I know Ghana said they made some billions with diasporans coming back. Liberia, Senegal, all these other countries in Western Africa are receiving diasporans. But I think we talked about, what are we getting in return? Yes, we need to make the pilgrimage over there. Yes, we need to touch down over there. Yes, we need to pick up an African language or two. Yes, we need to be over there for an extended period of time to get on the right frequency, the right vibe that Mother Africa is on. But what are we truly getting in return? And especially investing and spending all that money over there that, that our brothers and sisters desperately and also graciously receive. So when you talk about citizenship, one of the things that we dialogued about was, why is it such a hard problem to get citizenship? When we want to be there, a lot of us are doing the African ancestry DNA to prove that we're from there. So we're going the scientific route. We already know historically and culturally we're there. The documentation is there as far as the ships and what is said on that side of the Atlantic. And out of respect for my brothers, the Moor brothers, we know that we also are indigenous to this side of the Atlantic. We're indigenous to the whole planet, but specifically to Mother Africa. What are we getting? Why has it been a challenge now to get the citizenship? Some brothers that have done the test, we know that they've gotten instant citizenship in Sierra Leone. If they've done the DNA test, they're granting it. So the question bears the mind is, what is going on with the other 53 or 48 countries or so in Western, Southern, and Eastern Africa? You know, why are we having this hard? And I'm talking about the ones that want to go back and the ones that are on the land now wanting to get citizenship in various countries. Because again, when you get the citizenship, now you're able to move. You're not going to be stopped as much. You're not going to be paying for visa every African country you want to go and serve and help. Again, like you say, and we've stated, we're not tourists. We're going back home. So you have a different energy, a different mindset. You're going to help. You're not going to cause problems. And again, you're investing, you're spending a lot of money back home. So it's not an easy process getting the citizenship. The residence is pretty simple. You can get that. But again, what's happening now, just like with the free trade that has been established throughout Africa with goods, that means eventually people will be moving. But a diasporan is going to still stun us. We can get the visa, but we're shelling out more money. And again, I don't think people, just because you got money don't mean you want to just be spending it like that also. So that's kind of a little generalization of what's going on in citizenship. I know I have a great friend and we've had him on, Dr. Malana. We've talked about him. He's been spearheading a lot of diasporans in Ghana, from the Caribbean, from America, from Europe that have gotten their citizenship. I think by now he's up to about 200 or 300 brothers and sisters he's established with both presidents, the former president of Ghana and the current president of Ghana. He's been able to go into their offices and assist in getting brothers and sisters over there their citizenship. But it's a lengthy process, man.
Yeah, it is sad to hear that, to know that, you know, and especially we're talking about DNA. When I hear you talk about DNA tests, you know, I don't believe this. Correct me if I'm wrong. You know, in Europe, any European people moving across Europe have to show that they are European or do any DNA tests. You know. I am wondering who created all of these kind of red tape or this kind of bureaucratic system, you know, that Africans going back knowing the history. Is it that these Africans don't know the history, that the people here in the diaspora are Africans just like that? They don't know the history of the transatlantic slave trade. You know,
that's
and
a
I know
good,
that.
Yeah, not to cut you, that's a great point.
Yeah,
I mean,
go ahead, Ed.
we can have a great dialogue on that. Majority of Africans they've left. They don't have a good foundation on history, and it's not their fault. You know, again, with colonialism and the neocolonialism, there's not a lot of books that are on the ground. Now, we're a great oral people. That's our tradition, but everything was not passed on. There's still Africans now that don't know that it was a segment of Africans that were taken. You know what I'm saying? Is it their fault? Not really. I mean, is education and the curriculum fault? Who was in control? Yes. We've been fortunate in the West to have access to a lot more, especially in America, if you've done the research, to be able to get access to various documents, various books. And then we've had great scholars since the 60s, 50s to go ahead and present this stuff to us in book form. We've been blessed with Marcus Garvey and, you know, Malcolm X and, you know, on and on of these ancestors have laid, Carter G. Woodson, that have laid things out for us. They have not been fortunate enough to have that information. Not that they haven't had scholars, but they haven't had that kind of access to the information, which is right in your face. So, but they're getting there. I mean, the information with the technology now and how TikTok and all this stuff is rapidly changing. And again, especially the youth, if they've gone back from the West, from Europe, Canada, America, if they've gone back, they have a different, their eye is open. They have a different perspective now when they go back. So it's all positive. And we, again, the upward mobility of the upward trend of us just waking up. That's what's happening now.
yes. My brother, you know, we're winding down, you know, for the first hour, you know, to have you here for an hour and then to move to the next guest. I truly appreciate love, you know, you coming here, you know, understand the challenges that we are facing, and to also, you know, share with us the struggle, because it's not just problem, but we are, you know, moving ahead. We are doing something. We are not just sitting here and complaining like nothing is happening. We are making it happen, you know, for ourselves, you know, and the next generation. So we are keeping the light, you know, and we are the beacons who are here now doing what, you know, we have to do to create a new world. Will not be just following this thing designed by others for us, but we are on the mission, creating, doing things for ourselves, you know. And I want to commend the I, you know, and the rest of the brothers who are part of this movement, you know, known and unknown, you know, because there are many more to come, you know, and to be a part of this movement. We give thanks for having you here, my brother, and I'm looking forward to see you later at the album
Yes.
launch. You know.
Yes, sire. Yeah, thank you, brother, for having me. And may the ancestors and Most High continue to bless you, your queen, your empress, and the brothers there, sisters there. And again, you stated it already. Black Star Brothers, we're doing what we're supposed to be doing. There's other groups, other brothers and sisters that are doing things, whether in the Caribbean, here in America, in Africa, and around the planet. People are waking up, man. So it's just, we just keep our spiritual eye open and looking for them and listening for them. And we just keep the network going. So much love, brother. Again, thank you for having me. And
yes, brother.
And the Creator and ancestors keep blessing you, brother. Hotel.
And to the eye, you know, we give thanks for the energy. We give thanks for, you know, having you as a brother, you know what I mean? And from strength to strength we grow, you know what I mean? Brother for life, Black Star Brothers. And big up all the brothers who are part of this movement, you know. We give thanks for the support.
Wicked men, bye-bye. Oh, yeah. Bye-bye. Babylon, bye-bye. Bye-bye. All our lives, suffer and cry, watching our prophets and our leaders die. Physically, chain release, yes, and Ethiopian, come if we look to the west. Bye, bye, bye. Babylon, bye, bye. Bye, bye, bye. The wicked men, bye, bye. Wow, again. Bye, bye, bye. Babylon, bye, bye. Bye, bye, bye. Wicked men, bye, bye. Children of Jah, into you. This is what Jah wants.
Yes. Yeah, man, it was a great vibes, you know, having that discussion with my brother, Kwame Bunde. Yeah, you know what I mean? The Black Star Brothers movement, you know, he's really the conceptualizer and the facilitator, you know, doing a great job, you know, and we give thanks that we can have a brother like that in our midst, you know, and all the other brothers, you know, and standing up and supporting each other, and we will not roll over and die, you know, and that's why we're moving now to claim what is rightfully ours, a new kind of justice. So we are going to talk to the mother of Anchorage. You know what I mean? Miss Simone Maddox, the mother who birthed Anchorage, a new kind of justice. Ankh. If you understand what Ankh is life continuous, life continually, right? So, Sister Simone Maddox, how are you doing?
Mother and baby
Are you hearing me clearly?
Yes, I am hearing you clearly, Imara.
You can turn up your inside.
What do I need to
All
turn up?
right, I'm hearing you much better now.
Yes, you're hearing me
You're
better
good.
now.
You're good. There, sir.
Yes, mother and baby are well.
Speak. No. Give thanks. Give thanks. I know, baby, I get a lot of breastfeeding, so I don't know.
The real
Formula thing, you know.
the real food that nature provides. The real
Yes,
food
yes,
that
yes.
nature provides.
So let us know. Yes, because a natural thing we are dealing with, a new kind of justice. So what we have on the agenda, because mother will always give you the lead, you know, and to express what is happening, you know, how the baby is doing, and you know, to see how stronger the baby can grow, you know, to build, you know, and we are gonna say this baby is not a boy baby. Anchorage is a girl.
Yes, yes.
You hear me?
And that's a good thing.
All right,
That's a
so
good thing. So I
yes.
want a little song played for the baby. This baby don't listen to the traditional lullabies. This baby listen to conscious music.
Okay.
And this baby wants to hear a particular song
Okay.
to lead into our discussion this evening about
Mhm.
intellectual property. There's a rich
Um,
baby. This baby is tapping into the wealth
Yeah,
that
me
it
hear what you
has.
said.
Yes. So if there are no copyright issues arising,
Yeah.
the baby would love to
Um,
hear that lullaby.
yeah, me understand. We just pass it on, but the producer is saying, because of copyright issues, sometimes on Facebook they don't allow certain songs to come through, and it may disrupt the broadcast. So I hope you can understand that.
Oh,
Yeah,
well, all right. I will tell the story
because
of
these
the
are
baby.
some of the things that so it's a good thing too. So we can
Yes,
yes,
you know, it's quite interesting that that should arise based on the topic that we are going to discuss.
yes,
So it's providence, Samu. Nothing is coincidental and nothing is a providence.
yes.
It's how we see things. So we're going to use
Ah,
our higher faculty or
I will
perception.
respond to it.
Yes, yes. So we start off by using our perception. And we are saying that copyright is important. So it is a good thing that we check
Very
before
true.
we utilize the work of another artist or artist. And it is a time for us to see ourselves as creatives, all of us. Whether we are conscious of it or not, we're always creative. Once we are alive, you know, we're always creative. And a new kind of justice is an opportunity for us to
True.
create things that serve our highest good. So I want to direct your attention and that of our listeners, both at to Fit FM 96.7 and Primal, our new partner, to the concept of intellectual property. And just loosely defined, that is any work or value or product that is generated from our intellect and our creativity, our imagination. I'm not using any strict legal definition for this because we have a global audience. But intellectual property, the concept of it, it relates to what you produce from your intellect and your creativity that you call a work. And you, Aymara, having been immersed in this field so deeply and for such a long time, you can add to that in a way that will, expand the definition. You hear me? Are you hearing me, Aymara?
Yes, I'm hearing you. But
Yes.
we have some challenges, my sister, when it comes to intellectual property right here. And as we were talking early on, we see where the Jamaica Intellectual Property Organization is now that
Yes.
we as creators can use our intellectual properties as collateral to get loan.
To borrow money, yes.
We know that that is something that we have been talking about for years. I remember a particular musician who, was going to banks, and saying, we as creators, we make money and we carry money come put in your institution, and you are benefiting from our creativity as artists who pouring around the world. And when we make millions of dollars, we come put it in your bank. Oh, no, and say, lend me some money if you go do some production. Them decide, say, why not depend on that, and we were saying long time that these people are very short-sighted, or it is a deliberate thing, not to, give us any kind of loan. So we see them like them want to set an agenda now, and that is how we see it. Anytime you see them take up anything and push it, it means that they want to be in total control. So maybe them put some things in place for them believe them can manipulate us. I haven't seen the document thing to see how it will work. I am asking you, as somebody of a legal mind, if you see anything as yet to see what kind of advantage, and how it will help us as creators. This new kind of that JIPO.
Well, firstly, I acknowledge that this is a new development for the public to ponder. That the concept of using your intellectual property, that is the work that you create, as collateral or as security for a loan. So even though the terms and conditions and any specific legislation surrounding this new arrangement is not yet available to the public, and even especially in light of the fact that we can have a general discussion about this kind of arrangement in intellectual property, I don't think we have to worry too much about that. It is coming. It will come. It's something that all the time people will say something will come and something will go. So we're going to get to that. But I want us to talk about the idea of having such a facility to leverage intellectual property for loans, because what is reported is that the JIPO, that's the Jamaican Intellectual Property Office, they have trained evaluators and are training more evaluators. These are people who will be tasked with the job of determining and assessing what your work is valued at, what kind of value to place on your work. So you go and you say, I am Aymara, and you must be know about me by now. I may have 3 songs this year that I want to use as collateral. As a matter of fact, I have a brand new album that I want to use as collateral for a loan. And these evaluators will then examine, they will have a framework, a list of a checklist then, or a list of standards that they use to determine how valuable this album is and what kind of loan you would qualify for. I imagine they might say you qualify in this category and that category, but maybe not in that other category. One can expect that there will be a system resembling any loan system to give you an answer as to whether you qualify, yes or no, and what you qualify for. But I want us to think about it in the biggest way possible. Think about our mindset. So if you're going for a loan, what would be a growth mindset for a person, an artist, a creative, going for a IP loan, an intellectual property loan? Because you need to have certain things clear for yourself before you even go there. You have to know what questions to ask, because the quality of our lives is closely linked to the quality of our questions. The questions that we ask of life, the questions that we ask of other people, the questions that we ask ourselves. So we are about IP loan now.
Yeah.
Should we be thinking, I need a loan, that's just what I need? Or should we be thinking, I need an investor, that's more like what I need? Or should we be thinking, wait a little bit first, me have to have more information before we go take on nothing like this? Those are some of the questions I want us and our listeners to consider. Because it is very tempting to say, oh, some trick never come with it. But we need to do we need to prime ourselves first. Yes. What is your what are your thoughts?
And as I said that, it means that we have to have more legal minds around us, you know what I mean, to go and access loan. You know, it means more work for people like you, you know, and I believe more attorney need to get themselves up to date with intellectual property laws, because this is a big thing for years, you know, and people don't even understand. It is not just with music, but people who develop all kind of things, people who develop websites, people, you know, so many things. Yeah. So intellectual property is simply to invent and create things. So, you know, they need to know the value. You see, as you said that, years ago, I went to a music publisher, you know, and we were discussing, you know, percentage. So he told me that, yes, I love the song, you know, you're up front, you know, and then we can work from there. So I was saying 50% of what? I don't know my song value if I tell you, say, boy, give me 50%. How much is that 50%? You know,
And how does that
so,
feel
as we
to you
say,
when you hear
if I wasn't
50%?
thinking,
How you feel? You feel like you're being robbed, or you feel like, yes, this sounds reasonable. This sounds like what I need right now. How you feel? We don't only need lawyers in this kind of conversation. We need people who understand money and the value of money. We need people who can show us, some of us who are not accustomed and trained in
yeah,
listening to ourselves. We need some coaches, if you will, to
true.
help us to think the right,
Ye-
think about the right issues that matter to us as artists and as creatives. We need to be
Yes,
able to
yes.
listen to
You know,
our own intuition too.
yeah,
So it is very important to understand the different pieces of an agreement, a loan agreement. But it has more to it than that. Because the very concept of intellectual property loan, it sound, for some people at any rate, it sound like something bizarre. Because how you going to say property and loan in the same sentence, in the same phrase? Intellectual property means that I have something already, I have wealth already. Why should I hitch it to a wagon named loan? Is that something wise for me? And another person might say, but I want to get to the next level because nobody else no know about me except me and my tree picnic and my community and my Wanga worldwide.
hmm,
So alone is just the thing to
yes,
bridge that gap for me. So different people are coming from different
true.
mindset and different directions.
Yes,
Another set of person might say, this is a family heirloom,
yes, yes,
intellectual property where my father and mother dead left give me. Me not going to mortgage it out. Nobody take it away, even if
yes,
cattle walk barefoot. So we have different
yeah.
priorities and different values that are part of this very important conversation.
Yeah, it is something that we have to explore deeply because there are so many tricks. I'm not talking about the people who will pay in tricks, but you of yourself, the person who is the creator, have to have a full understanding and understand the worth of their creativity because it is people look at it as what we call generational wealth, and
And it
those who
certainly can
are in
be that.
control
It
of
can be that.
those yes, yes, and for instance, any great work, somebody who maybe developed recently, even in the COVID, we realized that people was talking about the people who have the patent for the virus. You know what I mean? So even that is a form of intellectual property. The people who have the patent for creating this thing. You know
And
what I mean? So,
while it
you know,
sounds bizarre, it might sound far-fetched, it might sound even like a conspiracy theory. The point is not lost. The fact is that there is going to be a scale
no,
to
no,
weigh the
it's
different
serious. I believe
intellectual
it's
property.
a joke.
Yes, and to say, no, I'm not going down that road with you, I'm I am
Yes,
just
yes.
saying that the bigger point is that certain
Why you forgot
property,
out there? You know what? No, you see,
me not
all
go
right,
down
even, all right, hear this.
let me
Even
tell you why I'm not
Monsanto.
going down. Let me tell you why I'm not going down the road with you. Because
Yes.
you are making a powerful point even without me embracing the literal illustration. This is what I take you to be saying. Certain
Okay.
intellect And all intellectual property are the same.
Yes.
Some have a way more in the scale than others. So if you want to use your analogy, John Brown
Yeah.
goes to the back and say, I mean, he had a patent for the code for the David virus, as some people calling it. No, why I don't know, but I may have the patent
Yeah.
for COVID. I want to borrow some money so that I can do some cleanup work and help people for recover faster from COVID. Just to be outlandish.
Mhm.
There is going to have to be an evaluation
Yes. Yes.
of this intellectual property. And there's going
Hmm.
to have to be an assessment for what it is
Yeah.
worth as collateral, because that is where the juice is, that's where the power is, the
Hmm.
strength of the collateral. So
Hmm.
there's going to, whether it's
Hmm.
COVID
Hmm.
virus patent or it is your album, it is going to go into a scale. And there are going to be people who decide what it is
Hmm.
worth.
Hmm.
So you would need to know from before you start that conversation what it is worth to you, to your family, to
Yeah.
generations yet unborn.
True.
You would have had to have a discussion with yourself,
True. True.
especially if you never borrow money yet. Am I a disciplined person? Am I going to meet the requirements? Or am I going to take out a loan and then fall in some kind of hiccup with them and expose myself to losing my intellectual property? So people will need guidance about
Yeah. Yeah.
the whole concept of borrowing money and when you pay it back and the type of terms that would be necessary for a creative. As a creative person, I don't know how many people have the experience, but it's not every day you feel inspired for write something or to draw something or to create something. You maybe go off of your
Hmm.
vibes. What is going to
Yeah.
happen when you
And,
borrow this loan and
yeah.
you know feel so good about it and your creativity dry up? You just not have the vibe to create nothing because you think, Lord Jesus, I wonder if we should have got take out no loan though. And the time coming now for your service alone, and you can't
Yeah.
produce no, and you can't pay a loan, and you're fret and worry. People need to think about all of the, and it don't have to be bad, but think about all the different scenarios that this
Yeah.
whole loan process, when it comes through, what it can entail. And before getting there, if there's any way to be part of the conversation
Yeah.
so that
It is.
it works,
It,
better.
it is something that I really, really have a deep interest into, to see how, because it is not anything new, pertaining to loans, because when we observe what happened to a lot of artists who did believe say them boss and big, them they into a company, I say a loan them get.
And they probably
And
thought,
them
and I'm
fly all
glad
over
you
the
say
world and then
that.
drive Mercedes Benz.
Yes, but I'm glad you say that because what has happened there? What has
I,
happened
I
there?
am taking I am taking I am
Somebody,
taking it
somebody
there
is
because
happy. So I'm glad you have gone there because
them yeah,
somebody got happy, and nobody is saying you shouldn't get happy
yeah,
when you're getting a way to move forward. But somebody
yeah,
got confused about an
yeah,
advance versus a loan. So maybe that person felt like, is that then give me a money if you go do some work
yeah,
and make it get bigger and bigger so everything will go all right. And they don't know the difference between an
yes,
advance, which is payment
yeah,
for work to be produced, and a loan, which
true,
is money that is
yeah,
given to you or which is put in your control.
yeah,
so that you can do certain things and pay it back.
Yeah.
And there's a big difference. So we need to
True.
think
True.
about these things and
Yeah.
really examine if this is something we ever work through it or if it ever work against we. And if we know say this is not for
Yeah,
we
man.
thing, we walk wide. If we feel say yes, we can make it work for me, you know. We can make anything work for me. Then it's something to explore.
True.
So those
Because
are some.
a lot of people, a lot of some of the hype artists, them even did realize that all the girls, the producer or the people who give them the advance. There was a time I remember, a particular person was having an eye on a particular artist, a particular company, and he was saying that this artist is marketable, and I can get him some nice girl, and and make him live a nice life. But the poor artist know what going with him life because they see everything in him. They see the star look, they see everything, and just know say once we have something that we can make you go live up in another community. We can organize it for meet you every day. But in the real thing that him have to pay for. And when it come down to the nitty-gritty, he was stone broke. He have nothing.
And that is why we're having conversations like this. Because
Yes.
it is, I hope him don't regret the experience though, when Ali said I don't, because it's your life. It's your life. And some lessons are very expensive.
No, no.
But from
The
the learning,
experience is
that's good.
invaluable.
Yes, yes. So I hope
Very
him,
expensive and
I
invaluable. Yes.
hope him still smile.
Yes.
I hope him still smile or even laugh when he think about it. But
Yeah. Yes.
other people,
I reminisce
other
and
people
some of
can
the joy
learn.
that he had.
Yes, man. Yes, other people can learn from it, and even
Yes.
he can still
Yeah.
learn from it, right? And we are saying that on the eve of
True.
something else happening that can work out as a solution for some persons, here is a wonderful opportunity to examine it, to see each of us as creatives can examine it to see if
Yes.
we would be good candidates for that kind of arrangement or not. And if it's not, okay. And if it's yes, okay too. So with
Yes.
that young man, because I'm going to assume
Yes.
he was young. Because if him old, boy, some lesson hard to learn. When
Yes.
you're
And young I want a boss.
yes, wonderful. For him now, him know something what others not know. Him know something now. Or him can make sure him know something now. Whichever way
Yeah.
you put it. Right? And
True.
he can look at it as a
True.
marketing opportunity. He could look at it as an expensive marketing opportunity. And there are other ways to do marketing which are less expensive, but they're not as fun. They're not as interesting or exciting. And it can move on
True.
from that point, right? And he can also
Yes. True.
know if him calm down now, him can say, all right, maybe do some serious work now. I'm going to really develop my craft, and this kind of loan is going to help me to earn my bread and butter on a bigger scale. Maybe I can go in and negotiate with such a facility, such a bank, or such an entity. And I'm saying I have star power, and that in and of itself is property, is intellectual property. I want to leverage my star power. So maybe go do some jingle for you, some
True.
advertising. I don't know, make some money off of my star power and my greatness. and on pay on yourself, so I don't have the burden of paying you monthly for a loan that you gave to me. All sorts of things are possible, right? An artist, is the artist going to sing for his supper, or for his bread and butter? You know, so I think it's a positive conversation, and it can lead to some good outcomes for some persons, and it can be an eye opener for others, giving us a chance to know what our values are around our intellectual
Yes.
property. Some of us will say, I am not fussy. No go where we don't alone, me no want none. Others will say, hallelujah, this is good for me.
Yes, because recently we see CSEC and some people publish something what they call name intellectual property buyout. You know,
I'm sorry, I didn't
meaning
catch the last part.
one
Intellectual property?
what that is saying is
I didn't get the last part. Intellectual property
buyout.
buyout. Okay. Yes.
Intellectual property buyout. Yes. So, for instance, IMARA have a piece of it, and them evaluate the work, them realize what the work worth, you know. And they say, IMARA are going to give you $2 million US for this piece of work, but it is totally ours. You have no control over this again.
Yes. Yeah.
Right? So it was a discussion that I wasn't even listening to a day with Ziggy Marley. Somebody asked him the same question of that, you know, what him think about intellectual property buyout by, you know, selling out all of his intellectual property to any recording company. And he said, well, I am not telling anybody else that they must not do it, but, you know, I'm not doing that with what we have, you know what I mean? So how much people understand what intellectual property, you know, really is? When put it something where people, even the bad way, how many people know that it's a piece of intellectual property?
I didn't get that
Come
last
down
bit.
for thousands of years.
I didn't get that part. Could you repeat?
I am saying, even the Bible that we read, how many people know that this is a piece of intellectual property that is there for thousands of years, and there are people still benefiting from this piece of this intellectual property, the Bible? How many people know that?
Never thought about it in those terms.
You're not hearing me?
Yes, I'm hearing you.
Yes,
But I'm
because
saying that I never thought about
it's
the Bible in
yeah.
that way. So go further with the point.
Yeah, isn't yeah, so it is an intellectual property. It's people creative, it's people writing that is in that book. You know what I mean? It is coming from out of the mind of people. And yes. They're intellectual properties.
Songs.
Solomon writing things them.
Songs
And today
and
some
poems.
people, Psalms, So
that's an interesting.
people are not
That's a
right.
very interesting perspective.
Even so that's why we say when we hear about this kind of loan for IP, is something that we have to really go to the root and dig deeper, because even these equipment that we are using right now, you and I here who deal with our idea that we are going to come and use these equipment to express ourselves.
Yes.
right? It's our intellectual property that has been used, exploited to sell these equipment, you know. And, if we could have talked about laptop and iPhone a little more. If them don't have content that is coming from creators, nobody buy these things. So
Well,
everything that
it's a symbiotic relationship. It's a good relationship
exactly,
because you
exactly,
you need some people to create the equipment
don't it?
and you need some people to use it. It's just like
Exactly,
how a hotel is not a hotel if
exactly,
you don't have people in it, but you need to have facilities that where people feel comfortable. So the accommodation and the amenities, those
Mhm.
things are valuable. The people are extremely valuable. The workers and the guests and the persons
Yes,
who invest to make the facility a comfortable one.
yes,
So but it really expands
yes,
the mind
yes,
to think about intellectual property and ownership in this broad kind of way. And that is why I'm saying that this
yes,
arrangement that is about to come on stream based on what we are hearing, it will not be for
yes,
everyone, but it certainly will be for some persons. And it's for us to get
yes, yes,
organized so that we can examine what is being offered. We need to be able to examine it in a meaningful way because sometimes we rush to things like
mhm,
these that have far-reaching implications and we don't think
yes,
it through. And we need to use the higher
true, true,
faculties of our mind with
yeah,
ability to reason and to think. We need to use our perception, that's our ability to observe. In
mm-hmm,
this kind
mm-hmm,
of situation, we need to use our intuition to guide with that thing that, we can't put our finger on it, but we listen to that voice that tell us whether this is a fit for us, yes or no.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
You see, and it's like put for instance Simone as an erudite, right? Who understand to create, and somebody look at you and say, "How much you worth?" And you start to think and I say, you look around now, say, "Why, say, I want a Benz and I need a jet and maybe I need to live on a particular island because my dream is all of this for years. And you start to sum up everything now if you say how much you're worth and you say, "Boy, I would like to go to Dubai. I would like to, have a private jet." And you tell them, say, "What are worth 20 million US." But them see much more than that in you for the 20 generation coming because they discover that. It's like this young man in Zimbabwe, Maxwell Chikumbutsu, who use renewables to build television when not have the power with electricity. He built an helicopter, right? And he used water as energy to run vehicle. Young man, in Zimbabwe. And because of that kind of skills that he possessed, there's 3 attempted assassination attempts, and it's like of the power. Like is just like Albert Einstein when they discover all of the things that are out there in the universe that human being can utilize, and it is just there for us, especially Nikola Tesla, and they die as papa because they decided that we will not sell these things, and no matter what you give to us, we will not divulge the information just like that. Well, eventually
And
then capture it and take.
you know, to die as a pauper for that is that if that is a decision, then that person goes down in history in a particular way. But if you don't want to die as a pauper, then you need to utilize the power
Yeah.
of that same creativity to bring wealth into your life. Not everybody wants to be a billionaire out of what they produce, but some do. And it is how we think,
Yes.
it's a mindset that we have. Because you use
True.
that story. There's also another story about acres of diamonds, about this
Yeah.
farmer who heard he owned some land, and he heard that people were finding gold all over the place,
Mm-hmm.
and he got very excited to hear about this, that he could go finding gold, go prospecting, go looking for gold.
Mm-hmm.
And so him abandon him farm and go all over the place trying to mine for gold. And it didn't work out. And he got so frustrated, unfortunately, he drowned himself in a river. And
Mm-hmm.
somebody else came and either bought or inherited his farm and just took up some shiny things out of the one of the streams on the farm and put them up inside them house. And it turned out that those shiny things were diamonds. And the long and short of it was that his farm contained acres of diamonds, which is more than gold. And him spending whole life a search for gold that he never found, and he was living on acres of diamonds. So we have to understand what we have inside of us, the value of what we have inside of us, and make conscious decisions about how we want to deal with it. So even going back to the same loan scenario, you might decide that I am going to avail myself. I'm going to still seek a loan to do certain things because I want to set up myself in a certain way. And you can decide that you are not going to offer your best work as collateral. You'll offer good work, excellent work, but you're not going to offer the crown jewels then where you lock away in the vault of your mind as collateral. You're going to offer something that just in case things don't work out in the best way, you know, end up one drown yourself because you
All right.
would have preserved your best. You would
Mm-hmm.
have maintained the value, the control over the value of what you see as most important. Because remember, it's an artificial valuation that's going to be done. And if them say it
Yes.
value 10 million, bet your bottom
Yeah.
dollar it value 1,000 times 10 million.
Me
So
glad you
that
use
is just,
that term, that term artificial valuation. And one of the things we
and
talk about
it has to be artificial.
yeah, one of the things we talk about, Anchor, is that to make language simpler that the ordinary man. I'm just looking on some of the thing here, like an
Yes.
intellectual property purchase agreement. Me just read a few lines
Intellectual property
that
what? I
purchase
didn't hear the last
agreement.
part. Purchase agreement. Okay.
Yes. So I'm going to read something that you maybe can break down. You know,
I will.
so it's a let's say whereas buyer is engaged in the business of marketing and selling apparel,
Stop right there, sir.
footwear.
Stop right there. Stop right there. Whereas simply mean. Whereas simply mean.
Yes.
Watch ya know. Watch ya know.
What you know?
Yeah, watch ya know.
See,
So that is what
so
whereas mean. Pay attention.
all
Look
right,
here. Look here.
see, yeah, okay, I see that. See,
Yeah.
snowboard product related accessories via catalogs and internet under the trade name CCS. the business, and then it go. And whereas sellers desire to sell
And look here.
and buy and watch you now again.
But I love this exercise. And I am saying to you, you can even send the document to me.
Yeah.
I can spend a little more time going through it, and then
Yeah.
we will have something
Yes.
that we can share. In a way
Yeah, man,
that
me I go into solid.
I love that though.
Because
I really
me say, so me know say when enough free artists them will just hype and just want to go out there. And then see whereas and this and that's why. And when we are going with this together, sir.
in fact, the person could put their name, substitute them own name when they say a word like that. Now, where instead of whereas John, look here, such and such.
Okay. Yes.
Yes.
You know?
So they
You know,
can
and to
make
make
it
it simpler.
personal because it is very personal. Intellectual property is
Yes.
very personal. Sometimes when you create something, you don't even want to share it with the public, much less figure out use it as collateral for loan. You have to tell yourself, so it's time to share now. This is not for me alone now. We're ready to share it now. Much less to put it in a situation where it is now you letting it go and you're saying this is a security for a loan. This is holding the loan. This is not yours for the life of the loan. This does not belong to you. That's what collateral means.
Sure.
What you have handed over to us, we hold that as ours. We give you this money to use. And when you have satisfied the loan and we write it out, we close out the loan, then you get back what is yours. Can you do that? An artist, every creative need to think, can I do that? Which one am I baby there? My song there, my poems, my invention, whatever it is. Me can say go a boarding school when they embark.
Yes. Yeah.
I mean, not know them back again till they grow big and turn man or woman.
Now you're
that is how you look at it.
You see, if thanks to these opportunities, you know, some people with a small mind maybe will say, boy, this is not community buzz. But this is affecting our community because it is people who are contributing significantly to the wider community suffer from all of these things. You know what I mean? Who don't understand how much they are worth and don't know the value of them own selves. And as we are talking about intellectual property, you know, me did supposed to talk about something else, but I believe we need to make that slip for now and focus on this as creators because you're also a writer. And I believe we need to get deeper into this thing because it is very serious, especially in which you know, intellectual property is in play with everything that happen right inside yourself. So this topic, I don't know, we can't just come and have a little one program about it, you know what I mean? Especially when we realize it. Yeah, when we realize what is happening right now in the world, because what is happening with this new reset, you know what I mean? It's a lot of intellectual property will be exploited, and there are a lot of things that are at play right now. And we have
and now there are categories, there are new categories emerging, like the concept of digital property. That is a newer concept than even intellectual property. So we really have an opportunity to educate ourselves and to increase our awareness about these things.
Yes. And we want to, you know, it is sad sometimes that we have these kind of information and these educational discourse, and people are not tuning in. And well, I know people are tuning in because I am looking at now and realize those not and Primal Network linking. But sometimes would I have a like to have a them, you know, to hear what go on, to how them feel pertaining. But no doubt we are reaching people and people are learning, you know, and we give thanks for this kind of networking that is taking place with Fit FM, www.fitfmja.com and www.primal4k.com. You know what I mean?
Yes.
So we are going worldwide, and that's the mission. That's what we are about, Simone. And
And
you
the
know,
longest
when
journey
we
starts with the first steps. So
with the first
we have
step,
started.
yeah, and what we observe as we talk about anchorage, you know, the new kind of justice is how we are going to justify ourselves, or we are going to repair ourselves, or we are going to reclaim what is rightfully ours, because there's a lot of things that we allow to just slip by because somebody
we
tell
don't
you how much we
understand.
worth. Yeah, and
We
somebody
don't
else will tell you.
understand ourselves fully.
Yeah, that is how deep it is. Imagine somebody will look upon you and tell you how much you're worth. That is the biggest insult. You know, you walk up somewhere with your poems and somebody tell you, say, I'm going to give for this. And you just glad because you feel, boy, you know, long me want 5 million US, you know. But you're not really observing that maybe this is one of the biggest insult this person play with me and all.
Or
Because
look at it as, don't look at it as an insult, look at it as feedback, as an indicator. So you have just told me that my poetry is worth 5 million US. I wasn't thinking on that level. I said, thank you for this information. I will be back. And I know, say, I need to do a little more digging.
I will be back.
Because you're just opening my mind. And I'm
see what
doing
me
my
really
happy
worth.
dance going home because I'm saying, what?
Yes.
That means that me worth 1,000 times 5 million US or maybe 5 million US.
All right.
So how am I going to negotiate and navigate this interaction? Am I going to put to them 1 point out of the collection and say, lend me where you can lend me for 1 point? Because I know now how I can leverage my other work. I just want to get a little help, as I would say, a little small for start a certain ball rolling or start cook a certain pot. You know, so it's
we are down to wire, Simone, and you know we have to talk about it some more. One of the people them know say Primarily Poetic tonight, 8:30 to 9:30, and then from 9:30 to 10:30 is our listening party and Primal, right? www.primal4k.com. So want to come jam with you over there. And, you know, and Fit FM will be there as well because this is how it is working, you know. So just come jam with you over there and buy the album. The album will be available on 16bars.com. So it's 16-barsmm.com. The music, because we are taking conceptual property. I'm going to talk more about that. So people don't just tune in later because we're going to have some discussion about that too. You know what I mean? Because we are not just creators, but we are people who are intellectually sharp, and we're glad that we have minds like Simone around us, you know what I mean, to help our community become more efficient, aware, you know, and all of that. We thank you, Simone Maddox. You know, we really full joy this discourse, and we just love how you are. We just love you over there. You know, you just brighten up the whole of the place. I mean, love and light.
I fully enjoyed it, and congrats on your new album.
Yes, I'm looking forward to see you later.
Yes. Love and blessings.
Yes,
everyone.
people, it's another community buzz, you know. And so much informative things. So I'm saying to the people, we're always some information, education, some great music as well, you know what I mean? So tune in until next strong, you know, I'm out. Yes. Give thanks, Julia, and give thanks to Fit FM, you know what I mean? We big up the producer.